Hi there, Diana here. Have you ever come across people in your life, whether they were friends, families, or colleagues, who always seemed to get what they wanted? Whether it was that promotion, or that job, or that car, or that house, or that boyfriend, or the amount of kids they even wanted. Every single thing that they wanted seemed to just come to them, right? Really easily. So having that intention when you want something is very important. Always focusing on exactly what your goals are, extremely important in our lives. And we do that with various techniques and various ways of focusing. But the thing that really offsets the success of what our goals are is that we have boundaries. So those people who were always successful, they were successful not just because they were clear on what they wanted. They were very clear on what they would not tolerate and what they did not want in their lives. Boundaries were what ensured their success and what will ensure anyone's success, frankly. You know that saying, if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. I know that personally. I've done that many times in my life, where I have diminished all boundaries and depleted myself completely. So let's look at the definition of what a boundary actually is. So a boundary is an emotional, let's say, guard, or like an emotional property line. And it's basically a property line that distinguishes between what you will tolerate and what you will not tolerate in your life, as I mentioned before. But it's also a definition of what you will permit in your life and how you will engage with other people. So it's really clearly defining what you will accept from other people, how they will treat you, and how you treat other people as well. But that's the clear definition. It's basically, a boundary is really who we are and who we are not, by clearly defining what your boundaries are. So now, what does that mean exactly? What is again, the boundaries? That's great. What is our property line? I had a friend who used to make sure that she had her literal physical property line of people standing no closer than like the three feet close to her. It was really funny. But I had a client also recently tell me that she had real problems with boundaries, because in her eyes she found her definition was that if the more she gave, the more people would love her and the better person she would be. She would be, in her mind, more fulfilled if she just keep giving and giving and giving of herself. And that may sound good, but that essentially means you're martyring yourself, where you're completely giving up all of your own needs and your own wants for the sake of others. And in today's world, martyrdom doesn't work because we completely deplete ourselves. So let's talk also about karma. When you're in a relationship, especially a romantic relationship, and especially when you have a spouse and you have an agreement to really support each other, you can actually get into a position where you're taking on their karma. So essentially what that means is, if somebody is unhappy or someone is depressed, you take on the personal responsibility to make sure that that person gets what they need, so that they aren't depressed, so that they aren't sad. You take on that personal responsibility. By doing that, you actually take on their karma. You're taking over their emotional baggage for them. You're essentially carrying it on top of your own emotional baggage, so that they have no responsibility to their emotional state or their position in life. You're taking on that karma. And that is where we go wrong. We go wrong because it is not our responsibility to make other people happy. It's their responsibility. It is your responsibility to make yourself happy in order to make others happy. Do you see the difference? So let's talk about how we define boundaries, or how we become aware of what our boundaries are, because it's really difficult at times. Again, when you're with someone you love and you don't want them to suffer, you totally want to make them feel better. You will do anything to make them feel better. I get that. That's so normal. That's so human. That's so connected. But we need to have boundaries. We need to make sure that we're not depleting ourselves in order to help somebody else. Okay? So the first thing I want you to do, and I talk about this often, is mindful awareness. What is your body telling you? Our bodies are amazing barometers to our lives. They tell us when it's cold outside and we get chills, when it's too hot and we're sweating. We know these things physically. Our body reacts to real physical stimuli. We understand that if we've eaten something, we might get a stomach ache. But on a more subtle level, a more in tune level, our bodies tell us all the time when things just aren't working out for us, if boundaries have been crossed. That takes mindful awareness. And what that means is you being really in tune with the inner workings of your body, in tune with how the internal feelings are, how your internal gut reacts, how your chest reacts. These can be very, very subtle indications that boundaries have been crossed, and sometimes not so subtle, because we are so good at ignoring how we feel. We are totally disconnected to our emotional state and how we feel, because it just doesn't serve us, right? We have to get on with our day. We have to charge through and buck up and pull up our pants, right? All the time. Well, I'm asking you today to really think about what your body is telling you. Be mindfully aware of what's going on inside your body. So if somebody tells you something that doesn't sit right, and you suddenly get this, sort of almost like someone punched you in the gut, and you're ignoring it because you think to yourself, well, maybe it was that muffin I ate a couple hours ago, or maybe I had too much coffee today, or maybe I just haven't, walked around enough. No. What your body is really telling you is that whatever that interaction was that just happened did not sit well with you. Our gut tells us everything. You know what that means, right? The gut. So what our gut reaction, we have all those phrases, so again, listen to what your body is saying. So if you're having this sort of pang, that means something's not right. Something's not up. Something's not working for you right now. You also might have tightness in your chest. That happens when our heart center, and I talk about energy and chakras, or something just hurt our heart. Something maybe somebody said to you just didn't sit well, or they didn't treat you in a respectful manner. Maybe they disregarded you, and you might have this tightness in your chest or a real pain. That is mindful awareness. So be aware of how your body is feeling. The more you meditate, the more you'll be able to be in tune with your body and really understand the triggers, so that you can react accordingly in the moment, rather than letting whatever that thing is, that pain, that reaction fester and come out later in a different, inappropriate way. So creating your boundaries can be as simple as using tools. So words. Your words are the best tools that we use to express ourselves. So these are some of my very favorite simple phrases that you can use. The simplest one is no thank you. Someone asks you to do something, or tells you something, or suggests something, say, no thank you. That doesn't work for me. Or, I'm really not into that, so you go ahead. Thanks anyways. Just being really honest sometimes can alleviate any type of disagreement or misunderstanding. For example, if somebody says something in a particular way, like what really happens with me when somebody makes a really bad joke, a really racist joke, or even just like a subtle dig, I get a physical reaction to that, because that person is disrespecting somebody or a situation, and I don't like that. So I will immediately have a physical reaction to that, and I will just say, that's just not good. Sorry, that does not work for me. I don't like what you just said. I just really had a reaction to that. My body is telling me that is not good, or my gut just hurt from that joke. And that doesn't sit well with me. That just didn't sit well with me at all. I don't like that. Please don't repeat that in my presence. So using your words similar to those phrases and just being honest with how you feel with people is the best way to create your boundaries. Thank you so much for listening today. I hope it was helpful. Take care.